If you have a church and you don't feed that church with projects, and you don't entertain that church with things for the youth, then you have a dying church. If you don't take that same thought process with your city, you don't build things, you don't build parks, you don't engage the city. If you don't bring these things into your city, you have a dying city. You're not going to have economic development. You're going to have areas that are just blighted, some blighted areas that are going to stay that way.
For the last 12, 13 years, Jonesboro has been placed on the map. A lot of great things has been happening around the downtown area. Yourself, Mayor Day, and also Ricky Clark, the city manager, have done a phenomenal job planning and attracting business to that area. How were you guys able to get that done?
That was not an easy process, but one that we were fully engaged in. I vividly remember the day that we interviewed Mr. Clark, and originally it was to bring him in as our city clerk. Without a doubt, we quickly realized that his ability went far, far further than just being our city clerk. I met with my fellow council members and the mayor, and I said that I really felt very strongly that the title of city manager carried more weight for him and for the city to be engaged in more projects and to work outside of the city of Jonesboro if we gave him the title of city manager to move forward, to allow us to do and allow him to open those doors that we needed opened.
So that was actually a great decision because he's done a phenomenal job and is well known around the metro area for the economic development work that he's done for the city of Jonesboro. And all of that was from your vision?
He said that, he mentioned that to someone the other day. They said, most of you think that I got here by way of another venue. He said, but actually Miss Sebo is the one that helped make the decision to bring me on as city manager.
You're also endorsed by the former mayor now.
Yes.
What prompted her to endorse you over anybody else?
I think she saw me as someone who was dedicated, energized about the city, and wanted to see the city moving forward in a different direction. And I was very fortunate to be her mayor pro tem numerous times. She's been a mentor to me, and to learn from her a lot of very, very valuable knowledge in regards to municipal government.
When you think of the South Metro, Jonesboro is one of the first cities that you think of because of the development, because of the quaint atmosphere. Although Jonesboro is only about 2 to 3 square miles, it borders Lake Spivey, which is unincorporated Jonesboro. So it's a beautiful area, and it has a lot of people in the area that are very influential. How does the city work with a community like Lake Spivey to ensure that they have the quality of life that they need?
The people that live over in the Lake Spivey area are very engaged in the city of Jonesboro. They participate in our events in the city. They support our events in the city. We have a lot of events in the city that is supported by the residents that live over in Lake Spivey. A number of the Lake Spivey residents serve on different committees within the city of Jonesboro and have been very valuable to.
Why is fighting for resources for your community so important?
It's quality of life. Bringing resources and continuing those resources within the city brings economic development. We have some very old infrastructure. Working with the county to assist us in getting those roads paved. Working with the Clayton County Water Authority and making sure that that those stormwater areas, those underground pipes that are crumbling due to age, that all of that is built back up to where the city has a newer infrastructure that allows us to move forward with economic development.
Can you talk about progressive growth? I know you're talking about it from a commercial perspective. Can you talk about it in a holistic perspective?
Yeah, when I think of progressive growth within the city of Jonesboro, having been on the council for 13 years and not seeing any growth for a number of years when I first came on council. And so it's important to me to see that we have housing, that we have an over 55 community that is being built currently, that we just opened a development called The Grove. We worked very strategically in making sure that the housing on that, we reduced the number of houses to make sure that the houses were standard size and that the exterior of the homes were just as beautiful.
That is the most important point about residential development. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not just about saying, hey, you can come build, but you have to make sure that there's quality exterior around the home. You can't just allow any type of development in your community.
With Mayor Day and Mr. Clark, we had a developer come in that wanted to develop that piece of property. A lot of negotiation went into play with how many houses they wanted to put on that piece of property, the design of those houses that were going to be on that property, the exterior of those, no shared driveways, the distance from the road and the sidewalk to the garage, the size of the garage. We put a whole lot of thought process in that development. With that being said, those houses went for between $200,000 and $250,000 minimum, and they sold quickly. People want to come to Jonesboro. They know that for years, we've always considered ourselves as this little hidden jewel.
You've created a destination that was able to attract restaurants like the Slutty Vegan and Nouveau. Those are destinations in themselves. I mean, they're bringing people to your community from everywhere. Mm-hmm. Can you talk about that and what that means for Jonesboro?
The Slutty Vegan, their investment in the city of Jonesboro has been phenomenal. So then Mr. Clark and the mayor worked on bringing that business in and the investment into the city, as well as the project that is currently the building that Nouveau is in. That particular project we refer to as the Broad Street project. That took years of working on that. It was the old volunteer firehouse.
That was amazing.
We built the city green with a little stage area in the back. So they utilize that on some Thursday nights. So you can go there for dinner, you can be entertained, and it's all right there in the city.
And those are small acts they bring in there. They bring in pretty large
Yes,
acts.
they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. And it's been great for the city, and what it has done is it's bring more awareness into the city by having not just these two restaurants, but other things that we do in this city. When we built Lee Street Park, I chaired the committee for Lee Street Park. So we came together and decided, what do our people want? If we're going to put something on this large piece of property, what can we put there? One of the things that I really advocated for, because we originally had the little basketball court there, and some of our residents did not want the basketball courts. So I was really pushing for the basketball courts because I knew these kids needed somewhere to go outside. Mm-hmm. So one Sunday I was coming in back in front of the park, and there was an older gentleman out there. He was out there shooting hoops one Sunday morning by himself. So I told him that we were having a public meeting and I would love for him to come. And he said, well, I don't live in the city. I said, but you use the park. So I asked him about it, and he said, you know, some people go and sit in a pew on Sunday mornings and they have conversations with God there. He said, this is my pew and this is my church. He said, I come out here on Sunday mornings to clear my head and have my conversations with God on Sunday morning. I said, I need you in a meeting.
That's powerful.
He came and he spoke, and you could have heard a pin drop.
Another passion of yours, and I know this is huge for you, the library. It was demoed not too long ago.
Yes.
And you are fighting to establish a new library in the city of Jonesboro.
I have been seriously fighting for this for the past 2 years. I currently serve as chair of the board for Family Literacy of Georgia, and we have put in probably 7, I think 8 maybe, little free libraries throughout the city, the little library boxes, to help with literacy and to give our children access to books. And it was told to me by some of our commissioners that the building was demolished because it had an HVAC problem. But instead of repairing that, they were going to demolish it because they wanted that piece of property for an administrative complex that they wanted to build. And it, unfortunately, they did demolish it. But after 2 years of my constituents, people who grew up using that library outside of the city, they have finally said that they will build us another one. And my understanding is it's going to be on the same piece of property that the one that they tore down. And the libraries, for me, it's not just a place to go get a book. There are programs there. There are senior citizen programs there. You just have to make it current to where we are in this world. There's Wi-Fi there. There's programs for children there. Our senior citizens can go and take classes on computers, and our teenagers can go and fill out an application for a job if they don't have a computer at home. And not every household in my city or in my county has access to the internet.